Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Premier League show. This is week 7 of the show. Let's play the intro and then let's get right into it. Yes, hello everybody, and welcome back again to the Premier League show. So let's kick it off. Week 7. We'll do the televised games first, and then everything else, which is the usual format. So kicking off the weekend, we had Aston Villa versus Brighton, and Brighton had an earlier chance in this game from a Stupinian, which was saved by Martinez. But then Aston Villa opened the scoring from Ollie Watkins. It was a nice ball from Matty Cash and an easy finish for him. Watkins then made it 2-0 when Veltman gave the ball away for Brighton, and Diaby pounces on the play, plays it into Watkins. It's a lovely shimmy past two defenders, and then he smashes his finish in. It then went 3-0 to Aston Villa, and it was an own goal from a Stupinian. Brighton very calamitous at the back, not normal from them, but they were absolutely awful here. And then Brighton, they pulled it back to 3-1. It was really, really good play from João Pedro for Brighton into Ansu Fati to open his account for the club. And I put a tweet out at this time during this game as I was watching it, and I said, I've seen enough Unai Emery football, especially as an Arsenal fan, from my Arsenal days. And I thought that this game could end up 3-all. I thought that this game could end up 4-3 to Brighton, but I expected that there was to be more goals. And as a neutral, obviously watching this, I was like, come on, give me some more goals. And yeah, I did get a treat, really. I think everybody did. But yes, Ollie Watkins, he gets his hat trick to make it 4-1. It was deflected, but this is his second hat trick of the season, and he's becoming really, really clinical for Aston Villa. And I think he's the first, I think they said he's the first Aston Villa player to get 2 hat tricks in a season since Andy Gray. So that's a great achievement for him, and it's no wonder that he's been recalled to the England squad. Watkins, he nearly made it 5-1, but his shot was saved. And then Ramsey, he does make it 5. He curls one in. It's a really, really nice goal. It's probably the pick of the bunch of all of them, really. And then Douglas Luiz, he mops up when Watkins should have scored, and he makes it 6-1. And Aston Villa, they were absolutely ruthless and clinical on the day, and obviously Ollie Watkins stood out as the best player, and I thought he had an excellent game. And then I was really impressed with Douglas Luiz. I thought Matty Cash had a good game, and I thought Diaby was really good. And John McGinn really stood out for me as well. I thought he was excellent in the middle of the park. But yeah, Villa, they won in Europe in the week, and they'll keep that momentum going. They play Wolves this weekend in what could be a feisty game. And then Brighton, João Pedro really was their only light for me. I thought the rest of them had a really, really bad day. But they drew 2-2 in midweek in Europe, and they've got a big game. They've got Liverpool this weekend. And yes, good morning, mate. Good to see you as always. After that, we had Tottenham versus Liverpool, and Spurs, they were tested early with a Richarlison cross, but Kulusevski wasn't alert to it. Gakpo, he had a good chance for Liverpool. Andy Robertson followed it up, but Vicario made some brilliant saves there. And then Curtis Jones, he ended up getting sent off. And this one, this one is one of the many debates that's come out of this Liverpool versus Tottenham game, and I can see why fans and Jurgen Klopp are very, very aggrieved by it. I don't think that it's necessarily violent from Curtis Jones, and his eyes are on the ball, but the follow through on that part of the body and that part of the leg, it is a leg breaker, and in this day and age, they are going to be punished. And I remember Liverpool fans not too long ago going absolutely berserk about the challenge that Pickford made on Virgil van Dijk that injured him, and how he never got punished. But in both of these instances, for me, these players should have been sent off. And yeah, I do agree that that was a red card for me. Luis Diaz, he then scores a brilliant goal, and this is what opens the can of worms. And I mean, Diaz is so clearly onside. He's onside by a mile, and Liverpool have been rightfully robbed here. But the audio's come out, and we've listened to it. I've listened to it, and there's just for me that there's too many voices. There's too many voices going on at once, and I think that's what leads to it being done so quick. And it's an absolute shambles. And I've seen that people want VAR completely removed. However, if it was gone, Adrian Holmes, who's the on-pitch linesman, he put his flag up anyway. So that goal still would have been disallowed even if VAR's gone, because the person on the field has had a complete, he's made a complete idiot of himself as well. And I, for me, the whole officiating standard in every single division in this country is an absolute disgrace. I mean, I've watched football now since I think my first game that I ever saw live was May of 1996. So I've done a solid 27 years, and I watch all the leagues in this country. I watch all the standards in this country, from semi-professional to amateur. I go watch National League games when I go watch Dagenham. I've seen the EFL when it comes on the telly, and obviously I watch all the Premier League. We're doing the Premier League show here, and all of it is not good enough, and it's serious consequences. And for me, the apologies aren't good enough for the mistakes that they make. And the the way that us over here, because we're English and we think we're the best at everything, we don't use the offside technology that worked so well in the World Cup, so well in the Euros, and so well in the Champions League. And I just find that very insulting. And then the actual officials, they are an old boys club. I mean, the PGMOL, you had Mike Dean when he was sat there on Simon Jordan's podcast, and he said he didn't want to embarrass a mate. Uh, it's not good enough for me. If you ask me what I would do, I would completely separate the VAR referees from the on-field referees, and they're a completely separate entity. They don't know who they are, so there's no bias there in terms of I don't want to embarrass him, or if I make him look like his on-field decision was bad and my VAR one's good, when he does my game, he's going to try and do something to show me up. So I think that they should be a completely separate entity. We don't know who they are, and then they specialize purely on VAR stuff, and the actual other referees just specialize on what's done on the field. I think that would be the best way to do it. And Liverpool have been hard done by here, but I felt the whole time that they've just wanted a replay. Which is absolutely absurd, by the way. And Klopp's comments regarding that, I think, were absolutely absurd also. And I think it, every team is going to be hard done by due to the lack of competence. And hopefully, this can spur, part of the pun there, a change. However, the request that Liverpool made to have Darren England banned for just their games, that to me is insulting, because, okay, he's banned for Liverpool games, but the other 19 clubs have got to have him as a ref so he can make mistakes for them, but then he can't just make mistakes for Liverpool. I think personally, Darren England should be sacked. Daniel Cook, who is assistant, should be sacked as well, because he didn't do enough to challenge the fact that he made those comments so quickly. He should have gone, well, hang on, let's look at it again before you've seen one snapshot and automatically gone, yeah, that's fine. I think he should go as well. Um, but back on the game, Spurs made it 1-0 through Son, and it was a lovely goal. It was a nice move from Maddison into Richarlison, and Son tacked that home. Richarlison, he nearly made it 2-0, but he hit the post. Liverpool, they made it 1-1. It was a nice goal from Gakpo. He recovered it and he finished it off very well. He injured himself in the process, which was a bit of a blow for Liverpool. And then Spurs, when they were defending it, they let it bobble in the box, and if you leave him with all that time to finish, he's going to score, and that will need addressing from them. But it was a nice equaliser. Madison, he nearly curled one in, but Allison, he made a really good save, and then Allison again made a really good save from Son. Jota, he ended up sent off for Liverpool. The first booking, I have no idea. I have no idea where they've got that card from. But the second one, when you know you're already on a yellow, you can't be making challenges like that. So I think justifiably, he's got himself sent off there by making a silly challenge when he's already on a yellow card. The second goal, Matip, he put it in his own net to make it 2-1 for Spurs. And I've got to say, the performance from Liverpool on the day with 9 men showed why they are considered title challengers again. I thought Alisson and Virgil van Dijk were absolutely superb. And Liverpool this week, they've responded in Europe with a win, but they've got a tough game, like I mentioned. They've got Brighton, which I don't think is going to be a gimme game for Liverpool. I think that will be a tough one. And Spurs, I thought Pedro Porro and Madison were amazing in this game, and they've got the early kickoff versus Luton, which I expect them to win. After that, we had Nottingham Forest versus Brentford, and Forest, they go 1-0 up. They think they've got 1-0 up, but Awoniyi is offside, and the VAR checked this and checked it again, obviously, after the events of the day before. Yanel, he forced a good save from Turner, and Turner and Wissa, they have this incident, and for me, I'm a bit shocked that this wasn't given as a penalty. I think Wissa on the follow through is taking the ball away from Turner, and Turner's completely clattered into him, and I was shocked that wasn't given as a penalty. And Nakate, he gets the second yellow and is sent off for Nottingham Forest, rightfully so. And Brentford, then they make it 1-0 through Norgard, and Dominguez, he headed in a brilliant equaliser. It was to make it 1-1, and it's a super header. It completely looped over Flecken in goal, and Ola Kigbe, he had one cleared off the line, and then Norgard had another go over. And Forest earned a very good point in this one. I thought Dominguez and Bowley especially were brilliant for Forest. And then they go into the Saturday evening game against Crystal Palace and Brentford. I thought Norgard and Pinnock were really good, and they've got Man United away, and they should feel confident. I think Brentford can go against Man United away and at least get a point today. So I'd expect them to get that done. And then the Monday night football was Fulham versus Chelsea, and Broja, he scuffed a brilliant chance. He does all the hard work, but his finish is absolutely terrible. But he was lucky he was offside. Mudryk, he then finally scores. He made it 1-0 with an absolutely lovely goal. It was a class ball by Colwill into Mudryk, who took it on his chest and finished it well. And then Chelsea, they make it 2-0. Broja, he gets a lucky deflected goal off Tim Ream, but it was poor defending from Fulham. Vinicius, he gives Thiago Silva a karate chop to the neck, and I'm shocked that's not a booking. Or I think actually he did get booked, but yeah, I was shocked that it wasn't more than just a booking. He just like karate chops him in the neck. It was just weird. It was surreal. Masson and Fernandez, they both had a chance for Chelsea, and Kearney, he had an easy chance, but he fluffed the finish. He should have got the goal to make it 2-1. But it was an easy win for Chelsea on the day, and I thought Sanchez in goal, Carwell and Palmer, I thought they had very good games for Chelsea. Fulham, nobody stood out to me when I was watching it. I thought that they were just completely off the pace altogether, and Chelsea took advantage of that. Chelsea, they've got Burnley next away, and they should feel confident going into that one with the little patch of wins that they're going through. And then Fulham, they can bounce back. They got Sheffield United, and I expect them to beat them. But then, yeah, we go into the non-televised games, and it was Bournemouth versus Arsenal, and Arsenal won this 4-0 on the day. It was a great win. It was very comfortable. Odegaard was easily the man of the match, and then I'll talk about that when I do my Arsenal show a bit later. But yeah, Arsenal, they had a shocker against Lens in midweek, and we really need to bounce back from that. But when you've got to bounce back and you need a game to bounce back in, it's very hard to do it against the greatest side in the world, isn't it? When you got to do that against Man City and Bournemouth, they're away against Everton, and they should be confident. That's another one in that little pack of the teams near the bottom, and yeah, I think they should be confident going into that one. Everton then played Luton, and Dwight McNeil, he nearly shanked a volley in for Everton. It was a really good chance. Lockyer, he had one over from a corner, and then another Luton corner comes in, and it's exactly the same sort of move as the one that Lockyer just had. But Morris ends up scoring this. Um, Lockyer, he closes down Ashley Young's clearance, and then it goes into the net. Luton, they made it 2-0. Morris with a nice finish as well from another really work set piece. Gardner, he heads one onto the bar for Everton, and Everton make it 2-1. It's a bit of a scramble, but Calvert-Lewin tucks it in. Luton, they think they've made it 3-1 from Morris, but he's offside. And then Beto, he headed one over for Everton, and then he headed another over. He should have scored at least one of those. And Luton, they get their first win of the season. It was massive for them, especially against someone else that's in that relegation zone with them. But they played another game again this week, which I'll talk about a bit later. But then Everton, they got another game with a team that's there or thereabouts against Bournemouth, like I said, and I think they'll struggle in that game. So I'm really, panicking about Everton in terms of staying in the league. I think they haven't got a chance really, but we'll see how that goes. After that was Man United versus Crystal Palace, and Guehi, he headed one wide for Palace. Hoyland, he had a very, very good chance, but Mitchell made a really good clearance off the line. Eza, he whipped in a free kick, and Hoyland tried to clear it out, and it meets Joachim Anderson, who just absolutely pile drives a volley to make it 1-0. Casemiro, he hit one on the volley to nearly get the equaliser, but it went wide. And then Johnston, he made a good save. He made a very, very good save from Fernandez, and then Johnston again with another save from Hoyland. Will Hughes, he tested Onana from range, but Onana made a good save. And Anderson and Mitchell, they nearly put the ball in their own net. But Palace and Roy Hodgson get the win after losing against Man United in the Carabao in midweek. And Palace, they go into that night game, like I said, against Nottingham Forest. And United, they had a dreadful start. They were dreadful here, and they were dreadful in the loss midweek as well. But they've got Brentford at home, and they want to, bounce back. But like I said earlier, I don't think they're going to get a result here. I think that Brentford could really take them to the cleaners if they want to. Newcastle, they then played Burnley, and Pope, he made a great save from a shot from Amdoni after Dan Burn slipped. Almiron, he made it 1-0 with an absolute thunderbolt. Isaac, he nearly made it 2-0, but the shot went wide. Anderson, he nearly scored a great diving header, but Trafford made a really, really good save. Al Dakil, he conceded a penalty, and Isaac stepped up to score that. And then Al Dakil, he nearly made amends for Burnley from a corner, but it was a brilliant save from Pope. And it was another great win for Newcastle, and they're on such a high right now. They smashed past eight. They smashed 8 past Sheffield United. They've knocked Man City out of the Carabao Cup. They've won this game here against Burnley, and then they absolutely walloped PSG midweek. And they've got West Ham away on Sunday, which should be a very, very good game. Burnley, they lost this one, but obviously they won the one against Luton, which I'll talk about earlier. Sorry, not earlier, later, sorry. And then West Ham, they play Sheffield United, and it was a big miss from Soucek after a great move from Bowen. Ward-Prowse, he whips in a corner, and Bowen heads it, but it was a great save from Ferdinand, well cleared on the rebound as well. But Bowen, he opened the scoring from the Hammers. It was a great move, rounded off by Kufals, great pass into Bowen. Soucek, he made it 2-0 from the Hammers. It was an awful mistake at the back from Sheffield United, and West Ham punished them. And West Ham, it was a good win, and they've got another win in Europe in the week, and they've got Newcastle, like I said before, and Sheffield United. They've got a tough one away again in London. They play Fulham, which I can't see them getting any points from there. Wolves, they ended up playing Man City, and City had an early chance from Ruben Diaz. He played a great ball in, but the cross comes in, and you think Haaland's going to tuck it in as well. But yeah, Dawson made a great recovery tackle for Wolves. Pedro Neto, he made it 1-0. It was a fantastic run, and his deflected cross goes off Diaz. And it's a lovely bit of work from Pedro Neto, who's had a really, really great start to the season. He's low-key been one of the best players in the league this season for Wolves. And just overall as well, I think he's been a fantastic player to watch for Wolves this season. Alvarez, he made it 1-1 with a beautiful free kick into the top corner. And I would say, in terms of informed players for Man City and just informed players in the league, I think Julian Alvarez is one of the best at the moment. I think he's absolutely fantastic for Man City. Foden, he had a chance cleared off the line by Dawson after a great ball from Oscar Bob. Akanji, he tested Sarr with a shot from range, but he made a great save. And then Hwang Hee-chan, he made it 2-1 for Wolves. It was great work from Semedo down the right-hand side, and City didn't defend the cross, and the subsequent effort, it fell to Cunha, who then played Hwang in to score, and it was as easy as that. And Wolves, they get the win, and it's massive for them and their manager, and they go into the weekend with a derby against Villa, like I said, and that won't be an easy game, but they'll be full of beans and confidence after beating Man City. And then City, they bounce back in Europe this week, and they've got my Arsenal, like I stated before, and yeah, I'm dreading that game, but we'll see how it goes. And then to finish it off for the week, Luton ended up playing Burnley. And I didn't watch this one live as I put myself through the torture of watching Arsenal Lens instead. But Brownhill, he had a great chance for Burnley and it just flew over. And Lyle Foster, he made it 1-0. It was a lovely pass from Sandra Berg. It took a deflection off Lockyer on the way in, but I'm not going to take it away from Foster. It was a really, really good finish from him. It was a great clearance off the line after Brown had a header from Luton. And then the incident with Morrison Jordan, I actually think this is a penalty for Luton. I think Luton have been robbed here of a pen. And Adebayo, he scored to make it 1-1. But Burnley, they made it 2-1. Bryn Larson, it was an absolutely brilliant curling finish for Burnley. And they get the points here. Luton, like I said before, they've got the tricky early game today, haven't they, against Spurs? And I don't see them getting anything out of that. And then Burnley, they play Chelsea as well. And like I mentioned before, I don't think Burnley are going to get anything out of that either. So let's go into the awards for the week. And my player of the week this week, it's no shock. It is Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa. He got the hat trick. He got some assists, and yeah, I thought he was absolutely superb on the day. So, congratulations to him. He also got his England recall, which he deserves. So yeah, well played to Ollie Watkins. The goal of the week, I am going to give it to Almiron for his strike against Burnley. It was a fantastic, fantastic goal. So just wrapping it up as well, the awards for September have come out now, and we've got the Player of the Month award here. And there's the nominees. You got Alvarez, you got Bowen, you got Neto, you got Salah, you got Son, you got Trippier, and you've also got Ollie Watkins. And I think it pains me to say it, but I think Son has to win this. He got 6 goals in the month of September. 2 of them come against Arsenal, who everyone considers, myself included, as title challengers. And then you got Liverpool, who are also title challengers, and he scored in that game as well. So yeah, for me, I think Sonny is going to win the Player of the Month, and I think he deserves to, as much as it absolutely pains me to say. Manager of the Month, obviously we got Mikel Arteta there, we got Unai Emery there, we got Eddie Howe, we got Klopp, and we got Postecoglou. And I think Big Ange. I hate that this is becoming a Spurs loving, but yeah, I think Big Ange deserves it again. I really do, and I think Big Ange is going to win it again. Then we've got the goal of the month. Then we got Hannibal there for his strike against Brighton. You got Duran for his goal against Palace. Trossard for his goal against Everton. Hudson-Odoi, sorry, for his strike against Burnley. You got Bruno Fernandes for his strike against Burnley. Almiron for his strike against. Everyone seems to be scoring absolute screamers against Burnley. You got Anderson for his goal against Man United, and you got Alvarez as well for his goal against Wolves. And for me, I think Hudson-Odoi is the one that deserves to win that. I thought his goal was the pick of the bunch for the month of September. But let's quickly just finish off with these comments we got here. It's a challenge he knew he shouldn't be making, even if he didn't want to hurt anyone. Yeah, 100% agree, Matt. 100% agree. I think it was a reckless challenge to make. And then Yamara, good morning. Good to see you here as well. And it includes the ref of the Women's Super League too. Well, I don't watch as much Women's Super League as I should really, but yeah, it's it's mad to see that it also stretches into the women's game as well as the men's. It's that's unbelievable. Um, Maybe just the whole of the UK based football needs to have a review in these refs and how they go about everything. But yeah, just wrapping it up before we finish as well. The theme song, obviously, to the channel is recorded by my brother, Johnstone, and well, his name's Dan, but yeah, Johnstone is his is his music name. But yeah, this up here, just quick, I'm very proud to announce he's got his first gig under this, banner of Johnstone. And yeah, it's at Radio City Social on the 17th of November of this year in Chelmsford. It's in the Viaducts. So if you come out the train station, you just want to go to the Viaducts, and then you'll find it right here. And you can come and hear all the songs that you've supported from him this year, including the theme to this channel, live for the very first time, and also be part of Radio City's Collabogeddon event the same day and enjoy a huge range of the finest beers and spirits in Chelmsford. There's no tickets required to this event, so if you are in Chelmsford or you're local to Chelmsford, please come on down on the 17th for the 11th, because it will be a fantastic night. But yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you don't already. and I will see you later with an Arsenal show, and then we'll be back again with a Premier League show and another Arsenal show next week as well. So yeah, take care, and we'll see you soon.